What's up, everybody? Trayvon here with Scent Talk TV, and today I will be doing a full review on a fragrance that I got at my local Marshalls. Was very surprised and very happy to see this because I've been intrigued and thinking on how this fragrance smells and how it performs because I am a fan of the line in particular, but it's from the house of Terre, and I'm so happy to get my hands on it for a reasonable price considering the bottle and the fragrance itself. But I'm talking too much. Without further ado, let's just jump into it. In that fragrance from the house of Terre, we have Terre Eau Givree. If I pronounced that right, excuse me if I mispronounce it, but you know, Eau Givree. And this fragrance ran me $100 and some change. To be exact, it came up to $109.98. So, those of you who care, here is the box. You got the name of the house, name of the fragrance right there. The concentration is right there. Down at the bottom, you got the concentration here. What's that? 175 milliliters of size, 5.8 fluid ounces. Nothing on the sides here, nothing on the side there. You got the name of the house right there. At the bottom, you have the, what's that? The barcode right here. The barcode and the batch code right there. I don't know if you guys can see it. There you go. You should see it right now. And that's it. Little information and stuff like that. At the bottom, on the back, you have some instructions about how to refill the bottle because it's a refillable bottle, which is pretty cool. And that's it. That's all she wrote. All right, let's do the full presentation of this bottle. You know, you got the name of the house and the fragrance right there. At the bottom, nothing really going on at the bottom of the bottle. On the side, this is where the information is on the side of the bottle. You got the concentration as well as the size right there. You know, nothing on the collar right here, nothing. It's very glossy. It's a very glossy bottle, so excuse the fingerprints. So on the cap, you got the name of the house right there. The cap is a snug fit. It's not loose, so that's a big plus. So when I take the cap off, look inside of it, you do have a little engraved name of the house inside of there, name of the company, inside of the cap right there, as well as the nozzle. The nozzle has the name of the company right there on top of the nozzle, as well as the sprayer. Let's show off the sprayer. The sprayer is decent. It's not bad. It's not a slouch at all, but that smell though. My goodness, man. This fragrance here smells outrageously good in all of its ways. It's citrus. You have a lot of mineralized citruses that's inside of this fragrance is, very, bright and uplifting, very captivating, and just a very well put fragrance. This is a winner, a very great winner for the size and the price that I found at my local Marshalls. Man, this is a steal. This, to my nose, is kind of a weird one because what I smell out of my nostrils, okay, you might think differently. I smell vetiver. I smell like a small to moderate hint of vetiver throughout this fragrance, but it's not at all a listed note of vetiver that's in here. What you smell is a very heavy note of citruses and woods that is throughout this fragrance. And the note breakdown is nothing to scream or write home about. It's not a lot of notes in it. It's probably like, let me see, 5 notes in it, and that's all you get. Speaking of the notes, let's jump into those notes. All right, ladies and gentlemen, in the top, you got citron, and that's all you get in the top. The citron is very bright, dry, dusty, somewhat of a uplifting citrus. It's not like a dark citrus. It's not a, headache inducing, like obnoxious, kind of like cloying type of a citrus. It's very bright, easy on your nostrils type of a citrus that is not going to really run people out of the room or people not like you based off you overspraying with this fragrance, because it's very light and captivating, easy on those on the nostrils, not nose, but nostrils, excuse me. Once you hit those mid notes though, you get some juniper berries and some Terre. I really don't get a lot of juniper berries. Juniper berries is like a gives a little bit more of a fougere type of a grain, somewhat dark fruitiness, like kind of a piney type of a nuance, if I do say so myself. Coming from my nose, that's what I get. But really, it's not, I don't get too much of the juniper berries. But what I really get is those woods, the woody notes that's in the base, and the mineral notes. The citron and the mineral notes and the woody notes is what I get throughout the longevity of this fragrance through and through, which is fantastic for it to be just 5 notes listed in this fragrance. This smells wonderful. Now the note of Terre or Terre, however you want to pronounce it, excuse me, but it's supposed to give off like some type of like a soft spice to it. But I'm not really getting any like soft spices, but it does give off like a grapefruity accord with that citron, which mixes and meshes very well with each other, making this fragrance phenomenal for what it is. So overall, I just get this bright, uplifting citruses with some woody notes in the base that's mineralized with those mineral notes. That's kind of synthetic, just a little bit, not too much. But yeah, this is a stunner. If you find this at Marshall's, anywhere out there in the wild, in the rack stores, I highly encourage you to pick this up if you are a fan of those notes that I've listed. And if you are a fan of like, citruses and stuff like that, masculine citruses, I'm stumbling over my words, I'm sorry. I'm talking too fast. But if you're a fan of those accords, you'll be a fan of this. Okay, the steak and potatoes, the important part of fragrances is the performance. The performance on here was not bad at all. It wasn't weak. It wasn't really moderate. Probably because the fact that I overspray, and I overspray with anything that I wear. But with this one here, you really have to wear this like in high heat, because when you like in air conditioning, where the temperature is a little bit cooler, it sits closer to your skin, but the heat activates the crap out of this one to the point where it's almost nuclear if you overspray like I do. But the performance was pretty good. It was a great projection within like an hour to an hour and a half with overspraying, of course. Then it set close to the skin and air conditioned climates, like, well, not climates, rooms, buildings and stuff like that. If you were to wear this like, fall, wintertime and stuff like that, go for it. I mean, wear it however, whenever, it doesn't matter. But be advised, in my opinion, I'm pretty sure if you wear it in like cold temperatures, it's gonna sit close to your skin due to the fact of air conditioned buildings. Because when I tested this out, it shrinked when I walk into like a store or a building and stuff like that, and it just pushes out astronomically once I went outside in the high heat. So high heat and this are like peanut butter and jelly. They go together quite nicely. All right, seasons. Well, like I said before, fall and winter time is gonna sit close to the skin. I think it's a little bit versatile, based on the woody notes that's inside of here, giving it a little bit more heftiness, a tiny bit of warmth, so you can pull off in the fall and winter time, but it's gonna sit close to your skin. It's gonna sit close to your skin. Wear it whenever, however, it doesn't matter. But I strongly suggest that you wear this in a high heat, spring and summertime. Definitely summertime. If you want that nice, active performance that you might be seeking or expecting out of this, definitely high heat situations when it comes to this. When it comes to the age groups though, the age group is like, to me, it leans like, middle age on up, because it has a little bit of like maturity to it. Not too mature where it is hard to wear and you have a hard time finding a occasion to wear this. It's just that it has like a masculine feel when it comes to the woody notes, the juniper berries, and the citron. It doesn't have that sweet playfulness that, that crowd pleasing, aroma or aura that you might get in other fragrances and stuff like that. This is, not to say that it can't, if you're looking for like compliments and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure this is a good compliment pulling fragrance, judging off the, the research that I looked up of this fragrance. A lot of people said that they got compliments and women liked it, but I'm digressing. I would say this is more middle-aged on up because it's a little bit more mature. Not too mature, just like, middle age on up. You know what I mean? I'm talking too much. All right, so I don't want to make this a long video. What is my last thoughts on this one? This one is really, really good. I'm a fan of like that mature citrusy type of a feel. If like when it comes to like the summertime, this one is just, oh man, whew. This is a killer, man. For the price and the size of the bottle that I got it for, you cannot beat this at all. I highly suggest that you picked it up if you are a fan or interested or intrigued of the scent profile and what I just presented to you in this video. I highly suggest that you go and pick this up. If you can find this at a rack store for a low price, a decent price, if not cheaper than what I got it, I say hurry up and buy. When I thought that this was going to be a stinky fragrance, it's just going to smell redundant from the other two Terre fragrances that I got sitting on the shelf over there. I thought that it was going to be redundant. And if you're wondering, I should have mentioned this, early in the video. If you're wondering if it's redundant to the other Terre d'Hermeses, no, it isn't. It may share like some components of it, but it's not the same. This is more on the fresh, inviting, uplifting side. The other ones is more of like, fall, winter time, little dark, mysterious type of a, vetiver like type of a fragrance. This one takes that DNA and makes it a little bit more summery, if that makes sense, in my opinion at least. So that's all that I have for Scent Talk TV, ladies and gentlemen. And as always, you know what to do. You gotta like, comment, share, and subscribe. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you don't miss anything, and I will see you guys in the next video. Be safe out there and be blessed and have a good one. I'm out of here. Peace.